Welcome to another Forza Horizon 6 video. We got another trial. The second trial has arrived. It's doing 3 street races point to point with supercars. And yeah, we can get into that a bit deeper today because I took the time and the money trying to get every single one of these cars and figuring out whether they could be used for the trial at all and how well they worked out. Disclaimer: I'm not one of those guys who goes into the whole meta tuning thing. I got a few tips on how to improve my tunes halfway through the whole thing, but ultimately my tunes are not at the best they could be, and so is my driving style. I was still able to have a good time with most if not all of these cars, but we'll get into that in a moment. To start out with, I would like to give you guys my rundown on how I approach these kind of events. First up, we need to know the vehicle restrictions, and for that we can go into the festival playlist, go over to the event, hit the right analog stick to toggle between the reward car and the restrictions. Honestly, I don't like this whole interface because it should be focusing more on the stuff that's actually important instead of just giving us a big thumbnail. But yeah, we are looking at 1990s retro supercars, and the red A, that's actually the class, so we have to do it all in A class. If we look at it on the map, knowing where to find the whole thing, it's actually a bit more clear. So down here, if we hover over this, we can see restriction A class 700 power index, and then once again 1990s retro supercars. So that's the restrictions, but how do we find out what's actually available? Well, the best option I found, the one that gives me the most information, is by going into an event that I have already beaten in the past. So we're just going to enter this one right here. We are setting this up as a custom race, because then we can browse through the different car types. Since I'm already in a retro supercar, we got this one chosen by default, so don't have to look for it for too long, otherwise you would be going through the entire list here. Can also go with total muscle and total supercars, the different drive. One is RWD, this one is AWD. I was a bit confused. But yeah, if we go to retro supercars and press X to view the cars, we get the full list of everything that's now in the game. And we can also sort this by year, which is important for this one. So here we got all the retro supercars currently in the game from the 1990s. So a big thing with these is they are between, I don't know, over 20 to almost also over 30 years old in some cases. So the tires on them are not amazing. They work out pretty well for them as long as you don't overdo it with tuning, but the important part is, since we are limited to A class and some of these are already in S class, down tuning them isn't always an option. The only tires worse are the drag tires, and they are really not a good option here. So with some of these cars, I couldn't find a way to make them work in A class. The R390 didn't work, the Speed 12, 911 GT1, F1 GT, the 962 CR, the regular F1, and also the Sport XJR15. They didn't really make the list. You can get some, if not all of them, into A class, but it's not gonna be a great time. Speaking of times, let's take a quick look at the times that I have here. So they will be in the top left for you guys to see it. I'll be commenting over them. Once again, these are my suboptimal tunes. The left ones are all my first attempts, and later to the right you can see the stuff that I got some help on from Hokihoshi's community. And the things in the middle are my personal opinions on the cars. Like the squiggly line, that means it's about average for what I would expect. Squiggly with minus means it's maybe a tiny bit worse in the corners or on the straights than I would expect. And anything with plus is, of course, a bit better. So, yeah, let's get through them. And one of the fastest cars that I have here is the CLK GTR. Of course, there is a limitation with how you can get it. It's only through wheel spins or the auction house, and good luck getting it through the auction house. It's one of those rare cars. But yeah, I found that if you all-wheel drive swap it, equip some heavy rims, and do some other stuff here and there, mostly to unlock tuning options like getting a race diff, you are going to do quite well. It's quite the balanced machine. But once again, it requires you to have it in. It requires you to have it to use it, so it's not going to be an option for everyone. But I found this highly enjoyable and high performant. If we look at the newer times, the Elise GT1 is also one that did pretty well, not as much on my initial runs. The difference is, on my initial runs, I got it down to A class by engine swapping it with a weaker engine. For the second attempt, I all-wheel drive swapped it instead. The thing is, this car is already a handling monster, and getting a worse engine into it really didn't help it. I'm not a fan of having it be all-wheel drive, and yeah, it's not really how I like to drive it, but it's certainly made for the better tune overall. It still felt like there was some more potential if I was able to add more power to the car. So it didn't really feel well balanced. It was still more handling focused than anything else, but I mean, especially for the price, really good car. We are going to try it out today because ever since I went to the all-wheel drive swap, I didn't use it again. With the other version, I still have a feeling that it was definitely a bit slow. And even with all-wheel drive, despite being better overall, it doesn't feel like the top performer. Even from the get-go with my track that I tried it on, it felt like it needed more acceleration and it just never got that. But yeah, those are some of the top options when it comes to more budget-focused stuff. I mean, anybody should already have the Diablo SV. And that thing is certainly a good one to have here. Even in my initial runs with my suboptimal tunes, I did a 2085. This, by the way, is all on the same track. It's a Nachi run, which is another street race that isn't used in the trial, but it's about the same kind of configuration with being very handling and technique focused early on, and later down the line you go more into an open, faster paced section. So it's more of a summary of what the other tracks represent as well, so felt applicable here. But yeah, the Diablo SV, even in my initial way that I tuned it, worked out really well. The main difference is on the second one, I didn't upgrade the tires. I think I went for higher tire width, but stock tire compound, and instead invested more into the power output. It's also all-wheel drive swap to make it a bit more manageable. Not that it's necessary for A-class. A lot of these cars work very well with rear-wheel drive. But yeah, this is a car that everybody should have. If you want to use it, you might have to save your current tune for it and then start downgrading it to A. But it is one that is definitely performant. If you want to buy something new, I got two decent options for you. First one would be the XJ220S, the upgraded version. It has an engine swap that brings it down into A-class, and from there it's just standard tuning. Just give it some wider wheels. Don't even look at the aero, because even the stock body kit right here has some aero going for it, and that is enough from what I can tell. Just, yeah, racing, suspension, at least a sports transmission, that kind of thing. just to get all the tuning options, and then add more power and you should be good to go. Worked out quite a lot better for me than the regular XJ220. This one, for some reason, even with Forza Aero, the rear just likes to step out of line, and it loses me a bit of performance there because I have to handle the whole thing. The upgrade version, it has none of those problems. It's also a bit cheaper than the stock version for some reason, so yeah, I can definitely recommend that. If you want something with a bit more tuning potential, I can recommend the 355 Berlinetta, which is another wheel spin car. However, it isn't all that rare. From what I can see, there are plenty of cheap versions on the auction house. If you want to buy one for less than $500,000, they should be available. And this is the only B-class car of the entire list, so has by far the highest tuning potential. I kept mine with rear-wheel drive, and even then it was doing decently well. And yeah, I think those are the main ones that I want to focus on. I also got the F50, of course. That one has a perk in the vehicle mastery section that allows you to just get the, what is it, the F50 GT, the race version of it. So you basically, while this is still over 4 million, it's kind of a 2-in-1. So can recommend that. The other cars here, I mean, what even is left here? We got the 911 GT2 and the 512 Testarossa, both of which are rare wheel spin cars, and I got really lucky finding them on the auction house. I actually wanted to make this video without the Testarossa because I just couldn't get it. But yeah, since I had to delay the whole thing due to the whole tuning part, I managed to get one after all, and while it is performant, I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to go for any of these here. So yeah, these are my overall thoughts on the whole car roster available here. Let's jump back into the game and check out the tile itself, how it goes. Have to back out of quite a few sub-menus here. But if I now go back to Horizon Decades right here and go find a team, then we should be in a race sooner or later. Yeah, when it comes to the Porsche specifically, since I'm already driving it, most of the other cars were more or less the same with how they handled. With the Porsche, I feel like I have to kind of meet it where it's at. Might help if I all-wheel drive swapped it. But yeah, the others I could just do regular braking, throw them into the turn, and they would do what I want. With this one it felt like I have to be a bit more deliberate, maybe brake a tiny bit harder. But once I got into the rhythm that the car wanted to go at, it actually started going quite fast. So this is still a pretty decent one, but handling wise I think you might need to either tune it differently than what I have here, or just give it a bit of a warm up. Otherwise, if you are just trying to be too aggressive, it's going to step out of line, and then you're not gonna get anything done. You can't be as aggressive with it as with a lot of the other cars, but you can certainly have some fun and decent lap times with it nonetheless. I hope the whole thing starts sooner than later. I wish I could do either just get into matchmaking right away. Right now I think it's waiting for anybody in my lobby to sign up with me. Or maybe I would also like the option to just go in solo. Doesn't really matter if the teams are balanced, you just need to be generally in front of more opponents than there are opponents in front of you. So with a solo match you would need to be third with 4 people behind you, 2 people in front. That should be 250 points for them and 400 for you, so that's how you win the entire thing. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna have a quick sip of my drink here, because honestly it's the stupidly hot heat wave is going on and I just can barely deal with it. Man, this is taking forever. So I don't think there's... finally! I don't think there's too much else to talk about. I've been doing some other things in game, like building some tanks, etc. I showed you guys a work in progress tag a while ago, and I think I want to try and get that finished before getting to the next bunch of tanks that I made. We'll see. I worked a bit on it, but it's far from finished. So this time around we are going to take the Elise GT1. Theoretically my fastest car, but I want to show you guys, yeah, hopefully why I don't really like it all that much for this one. Honestly, in higher classes, even rear-wheel drive, amazing car. Absolutely loving it, but here, even though it got the fastest time doing my testing, it still felt imbalanced in a way that I didn't enjoy all that much. But yeah, the numbers don't lie. But let's see if my feelings about it have anything to say here. Keep in mind, this is all-wheel drive swapped. Yeah, we get a decent launch off the bat. I don't want to get in the way of my teammates here. Thankfully I managed to break him in and not have him pushing right. Sadly got that guy spun out. This is kind of a problem with the entire tile here. The whole thing is kind of a mess. You got these technical slower parts early on where you could really go and get a few overtakes in while the fleet is still all together. But in practice it's just so much mayhem that you can barely hold on to the entire thing here. But yeah, this right now with 255 feels rather slow. The top end isn't all there, and overall acceleration also doesn't feel up to par. Which is another thing that went into my speed metric on the little list that I showed you. It's not just the high-end top speed, but overall acceleration. Just how fast is it around the track in terms of speed? Do you get enough power, acceleration, that kind of stuff in order to take advantage of your cornering? I could maybe drive this a bit more aggressively. Certainly a fast car, but getting onto the bridge now, yeah, I'm going to be braking in everybody else here, which is maybe not even all that bad. Could take advantage of that and have somebody else catch up. I mean, that worked mostly well. We're gonna wait until the dividers end. Oh shit. Well, we managed to get some points back, but it's not gonna be enough to win this, so... I mean, if we're not winning... dang it. I want to try and break them in a bit more. Maybe get another person past those guys, but... yeah, by the time you get at least somewhere near the front, it's already too late, and with how they spread out, it just doesn't always work how you want to. When this guy was 4 seconds behind, or no, 10 seconds behind me, that really wouldn't have worked out. But it isn't like I just threw the race away. If I just went if I just went on and tried to finish as quickly as possible, we would have still lost. Otherwise, I wouldn't have attempted this. I was trying to get the win for the first race. That means if we get the win for the second one, there will be the third one as a decider. If we lose now, that's the end of that championship. But yeah, the car overall is decently performant. It's just kinda lopsided. This should help us on this one though, because the dog part is hell. Will still be tough getting ahead, but we have all the grip in the world to make that happen. And we will start up front. I'm just gonna go through the middle here. One guy on the inside, getting pushed wide. That container corner is more tricky than it seems. Can easily catch you off guard and screw you over. I think that guy over there just missed the checkpoint. Same with the one behind me, so we are looking really good now. I think we have this in the bag. Pretty much. Honestly, I wish this was the the third track, so I wouldn't have to do it all the time. If you look at the numbers above their heads, it's just they are at the very back because they missed the checkpoint and they just keep going on despite being fully out of the race at this point. I sometimes use these corners to punt them into the ocean. Not worth the risk, because at this point I might actually throw away the race by doing that. I mean, I immediately respawn, they just go into the water and stay there. Driving on the ocean floor. Careful here. Thank you very much. Damn NPC. Very nice, of course. Who else would do that? Might be slightly overcooking the RPMs. But with most other cars and how I tune them, I usually just run away from the NPCs at this point. Like, these flowy, fast-paced corners are usually where I just take it away, and it's almost like I'm a half class higher than everybody else. With this car, however, it has the handling, but it doesn't have the power to really go beyond what the others are doing, so best I can do is keep up. But hey, first and second place for us, even third place. So yeah, this was pretty easy after all. After we got rid of 2 of the opponents. So third race will be the decider. And once again, like the other 2, very busy in the beginning, and later on we have a long fast sprint to the finish line. I hope I can do something good in the beginning, because the last part isn't going to be on my side here. I'm still considering which car to show you guys for the second run. I don't think I'll be doing a third run today. I think it's just gonna be one of the ones that I would recommend. Otherwise, well, I would like to show you guys the CLK, but if you are struggling to get the whole thing done, it's not gonna help you most likely. But yeah, for these races I have to turn off my fan that I have pointing at me the entire day otherwise, so yeah. Can't really do too much here. If I keep that thing off for too long, I'll just be melting away, I feel. Missed an opportunity here. It's very easy to hunt them off and watch them go off the bridge there. Without too much risk to myself, I just have to make them go a bit faster than they want through the braking zone there. Okay, that Tokyo in front of me. Hunting them off straight here would be another way to get them out of the race for good. But for that I think I should have been behind the guy and behind the guys behind me instead of trying to get up to the guy in front. Because he was too far away. There's some other stuff coming up. I might be able to do something with the hairpin right here. That should keep him busy. And again, it's not just about getting the win here, getting a good position. We need to get more people in front of opponents than the other way around. So even if I had a car that can get to win every single race, it's not going to win us the trial if I'm the only one doing well. Which is the part that fascinates me so much about this entire setup. But yeah, I should be alright here. With the Mercedes, I reached up to almost 300 kilometers per hour at the end. So it's also doing well with all the little downhill sections. But yeah, it's more around 270. But yeah, fast enough. Der Bowie apparently didn't get the checkpoint after coming back up, so that was one guy taken out for good. Oh no, did I punt Tokyoshi? Yeah, I think I got Tokyoshi and might have gotten the checkpoint after all. But it was good enough to get us the win in the end. Can we continue, please? I also had a two-person trial last time. We just didn't ever get any more people in there. And for some reason, in the end, for this celebration, after we won, the game just loaded in 4 more NPCs of unknown origin. Still only 2 cars behind us. But yeah, let's line back up. Oops, wrong button. Gave us a bit of money as well. So I think this time around we're just going to do the XJ220S. It's definitely a way differently balanced car compared to the Elise right here. Maybe I could have also reduced the error on this one. It thankfully doesn't have any Forza error, it just comes like this and the body kit stuff is actually functional. But yeah, compared to the CLK GTR, huge power difference. The GTR feels pretty stable, just a bit less nimble and all of that, but it works out really well. Out of all of the cars that I tried, I think that's still going to be my favorite for a long time. And with how ugly the Forza arrow is and me refusing to put it on despite it having performance advantages, I think I'm just going to keep that at A class. I got so many other cars for different other classes, I don't need to make that one ugly just to drive it somewhere else. Okay, got into matchmaking a bit quicker. But every other car that would be worth showing would be the Diablo. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. Maybe I'll make a second video if I find the time. Just doing more trials or so. But yeah, I still wish we had some of these championships in single player. It's actually quite fun preparing multiple cars for these, just having a good reason to use them. But yeah, I've been repeating myself on that front. It's something that for single player is absolutely lacking in my opinion. I also got into the feedback forum recently. I mean, not that it's difficult to get access, it's a bit annoying. They switched over from one hosted by the devs or the dev adjacent team, where you could just use your Microsoft login, to one with a third party that is just, yeah. You need to make another account, which is another barrier of entry. And the entire thing is also kinda looking a bit worse for wear. There's a really nice onboarding page, but without an account you're not getting any further. Did I just double downshift there? And yeah, once you get into the area that isn't accessible without account, the whole thing looks pretty basic, and it even has stuff like you get a notification, you follow that notification to whatever page should give you updates, and there's absolutely nothing there, so that that +1 notification, the corner of your screen is never going away, which is nice. And yeah, this is a 5-speed car. Ah, God, I hate this corner. Was a bit of an issue, but I was driving on the inside there. So in terms of handling, this one doesn't have that much going for it. But it should be a bit more of an all-rounder. Still, even with me doing a bit worse, we are winning this race from what I can tell. Dude, what the fuck was that? Did he just try to push me off the line? Okay, we are currently ahead, so no real reason for any shenanigans with the NPCs. There's another tactic where at the start of the bridge you can go through thinner dividers that don't slow down that much and stay on the outside. It's usually an easier, slightly wider line that lets you take a bit more speed through it. Yeah, this car, while being certainly not the fastest in the subclass right here, it's still pretty much viable. I don't see a problem with recommending this, even with my driving style and my tune. So yeah, that was a pretty good first result. I mean, the entire team did well. The last 3 spaces are taken up by NPCs. Maybe they got taken out. Maybe people were just faster than them, but overall, regardless of how it happened, good job. Okay, second race. Might be able to make this a quick one. And yeah, if I can manage, I'll make a second video just doing 2 or 3 more runs. The Diablo, the GTR, maybe the Porsche? Or maybe the Berlinetta, I don't know. The Berlinetta, even with how I tuned it, it's certainly fast. Could likely get a bit more out of it even. Especially if I were to all-wheel drive swap it. I think I might also help out with the Porsche. But I just didn't feel like doing that. And even as it is right now, it's alright, it's a competitor. I hope it wasn't me on your stream pushing him. I tried to hold my line, not go for it to the outside. But with lag and everything, that's not always how it works out for everybody. Okay, that guy missed the checkpoint, so that's one less problem for us. And maybe we'll get to put one in the drink today. They are a bit too far ahead for that. Maybe I can come a bit closer through the next turn. And that's another guy down. I don't know what that dude was on about. But yeah, we're looking pretty good here. Okay, in 11, but trying to overtake. Not gonna do much. Like, these are absolutely guys that I don't need to worry about anymore. Now that we are in the faster section, I should be able to get ahead a bit more. Just to stay out of trouble. Honestly, I haven't driven this car that much recently, so not the most secure in my abilities right here. We are certainly getting closer to the front again. This is also one where you can easily just do the opposite of a brake check. Just ram them a bit when they are in the braking zone and they might just miss the checkpoint. Alright. Got this one done in just 2 races, and I mean, look at the results. Once again, great performance by our randomly chosen team. And we got the overall win. Nice, nice. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be turning on the fan again. I'm just falling apart here from the heat. Until next time, as always, have a good one, and bye bye.